For me, mission trips are something that I really enjoy, mostly because the ministry of presence. This last trip that I took to Africa, we weren't building buildings. We really focused on a ministry of presence. And it's something that I've tried to remind myself as well as my children in thinking about. It's not who are we going to meet and what are we going to do for them, but who are we going to meet and what together are we going to sit and learn about each other, about the world, and about God. Um, when I was just in Africa, there was a picture that I saw painted on the wall at one of the schools that we visited. And it was a beautiful picture of the globe surrounded by children of all colors and all types of clothing in all different parts of the world. And to me, that's what mission trips are all about. It's these connections that we make with people, no matter what you're wearing, what color you are, and you're 5,000 miles away, but yet you have this strong, deep connection because we're all children of God.
What's unique about a mission trip is that you're going to a location where it's really perspective creating because of the extreme poverty that you're experiencing and seeing when you're there in a way that is hard to find in the United States, thankfully. Also, you're traveling with people from the church who you're building relationships with. You're spending all day, all your meals. You're passing your evenings with these folks, and you build relationships with them in ways that would take months or years to do under normal circumstances back here in Greensboro.
Well, I've done two WPC mission trips, one to West Virginia to repair a house damaged by flood, and one to Washington, D.C. to hand out supplies to people experiencing homelessness and talk to them. And I've been to them because I want to see it, different life perspectives on what other people are going through. In West Virginia, there was this one house that there was still standing after the flood, and close to the roof, way up there, someone had spray painted a red line, and that was where the water line had gone to. I just couldn't imagine what those people were going through, seeing their houses totally covered in water. And in Washington, D.C., it was this man who recently experienced homelessness came to talk to us, and he was saying how before that he was, he had a boat, he had a great house, he was living a great life, and then it just happened to him, and it showed me how it can happen to anyone. And talking to all the people in the park who are experiencing homelessness, it shows you just how different everyone's story is, how they're all people, and it just was very unexpected for them.
I first went to Haiti and learned about the trips that we can take in 2010 after the catastrophic earthquake. The devastation was something that I know people say they see now when they see wars. Nothing was standing, cars were crushed, people were walking around barefoot on the streets. And then at the clinic that we formed and helped, I found by talking with the folks and by listening to the providers who examined the people, that the scars and the pains were not so much physical as they were emotional. And these people just needed someone to care and to listen and to tell them that they will be okay. So in the trips that I took after that, it was so rewarding to see that that did happen. But the whole atmosphere was different because they felt like I felt like I could see the hope in them again.
This year will be my 8th trip to Mexico, Westminster, and my 3rd to the Yucatan. Last year's trip was really one of my favorites. We were helping a really special community in the Yucatan build their church. The first night we were there, we stay in members of the congregation's homes. And the people that we were living with invited us down to a birthday party. Fortunately, we had a very fluent Spanish speaker with us. Otherwise, it would have been, 7 gringos sitting there staring at these really warm people smiling at us and offering us things. But it turned out to be one of our highlights of the week. One of the sons of the family was a renowned Mayan folk singer, so he sang for us. Later in the week, we planned a celebration with the community, and we got him to come in and perform for the larger group. That was just really a wonderful, special memory I think I'll always have of our trips to Yucatan.
I went to Atlanta because a lot of my friends were going, and I wanted to help some people in need.
I thought it'd be fun and cool to help people. I thought Atlanta was cool because I got to hang out with people I didn't normally hang out with, and because I met someone who was experiencing homelessness named Julian.
And we still keep in touch with him. The most surprising thing about the trip was that the people experiencing homelessness there didn't really care as much about having food or water or money. They really just wanted someone to sit down with them and care about them and talk to them.
What I would say to people who are thinking about going is that you shouldn't be shy to talk to people who are experiencing homelessness because they're just like anyone else.
New York City is one of my favorite places to visit, so when Lucy asked me to go along on the senior high mission trip as a chaperone, I did not hesitate. One hot day, after a particularly grueling day of working on a job site, we were told that we had $12 for our group and we had to buy dinner for ourselves and a stranger. Well, we were tired and cranky, and the group just couldn't agree on how to spend the money. $12 doesn't go very far in New York City for one person, much less a group of us. So we decided to stop at a park and rest our feet and regroup on what we should do. Sitting across from us on the bench was a group of 5 or 6 homeless men, and they had a guitar and they were singing songs, and it didn't take long for our group to join in and start singing along with them. A couple of us broke away and found a pizza place just outside of the park where large pizzas were only $6 a piece. So we grabbed 2 pizzas, and just like the loaves and fishes, we somehow had enough pizza to feed our now large group of 12 or 14 people. It was an amazing evening and highlight of the trip. The next day, we went to our assigned job, which happened to be a soup kitchen, just one of many located across Manhattan. Lo and behold, but our pizza buddies came through the line for lunch that day, and they were as excited to see us as we were to see them. In a city with millions of people, to end up together again felt both holy and serendipitous. It has been 7 or 8 years since that happened, but it feels like yesterday. I've been on the New York mission trip 2 more times since then, and I always keep my eyes out for
The lasting impact for me would be the people that I've met. Last summer, I traveled to Nicaragua and met a woman named Paula. It's really hard for me to describe why we had such an impact on each other, but as soon as I met her, there was this strong, deep connection. She reminded me of the mother of one of my friends growing up, in her eyes, and we also both like to dance. There was part of the women's Bible study that involved dancing, and a lot of the women weren't eager to dance, but Paula jumped right in, and she and I shared a dance for about 5 or 10 minutes. Another part of that was taking Polaroid pictures of folks, and this was the first picture we took of Paula. It didn't turn out very well, but when she left that day, she handed it to me and closed my hand around it, and I keep this on my mirror in my bathroom so that I can be reminded every day about Paula and the impact that she made on my life.
There was a moment when I was in Nicaragua and we were pouring concrete for the home of one of the families there, and most of the children were helping, But there were a small group of children. There were about six children. They were 5, 6, 7 years old, and they were playing together in this little mound of dirt. And they were playing with a weathered, broken, yellow plastic construction truck. And they were all taking turns, and they were just so happy and harmonious. And they were making up a story about the truck as they were playing with it. And I just seeing those kids really created a memory that I've continued to go back to since I've returned home, about how happy the children were with just such meager circumstances. And I've tried to use that to create perspective for me in my life here in Greensboro.